I don't think we realized what the Eagles just did. Low key, I think this Eagles team is one of the best teams of all time, I'll say. Like, not, I'm saying the best, but they're one of the best teams of all time. Definitely one of the best teams that's won a Super Bowl in the last, I'd say, decade. Yeah, like in the last decade, I can't think of many teams that were better than that won a Super Bowl.
This was supposed to be the chess match of a lifetime here. We spent all week talking about it. Everything about this game led you to believe that was the case. Two teams that are very contrasting in play style, yet absolute genius in scheme. You even had the potential history in the making. The rematch, storylines, game plans.
And it was
Top to
all
bottom
belt
looking at this
to
head-to-head.
ass.
I was fully ready for a game for the ages. But
So was I.
if you want to talk about game plan,
huge play. Now the Eagles get it back. We're going to run some clock, or maybe throw the dagger. Hurts going deep for it all. Devontae Smith. He has got it. Touchdown.
Yeah, that was a great catch right there because
Devontae Smith.
DB got his hand in there too. Damn, man. That's how difficult it is to play DB.
Touchdown.
Yeah, Anderson there not getting Myles Garrett. It is sure
Super
you
Bowl
that.
59, it was complete embarrassment on national television. There's no other way to put it. You had the offensive mastery and execution, the suffocation and overwhelming from the defensive front line. There is so much to get into from top to bottom in this game. But also, we need to ask the question, how so quickly did it get to this point? Opening drive, 4th and 2 for Philadelphia, positioned squarely at the 50-yard line, and just 6 plays into the game, you could already tell Hurts and Kellen Moore did their homework.
Yeah, I can tell you, ain't no single NFL player signing for 25, 30, 35 million under what they'd be making.
Hurts from the gun. Back to pass. Going deep. Far sideline. Blocked. A.J. Brown. There's a penalty too.
Now,
But Brown
this was 100% PI.
McDuffie.
Definitely was
Alexander
PI.
Rhodes.
Now this 4th down conversion, negated by penalty. And I'll leave it up to you guys in the comments if that warrants a flag or not. But it's not about the
Like, bro,
call,
if a DB
it's
pushes,
the detail and attack from Philly early on in this
if a
game.
DB were to face mash your receiver's face during the pass, y'all would be calling PI. So it's PI.
Trent McDuffie and press coverage. You want 2 focus points that alter the course of the Super Bowl? You don't have to look any further. Kansas City's defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo's philosophy was simple. Overload the box in between the hashes, prioritize limiting Saquon's gaps in cutback lanes.
Start from the 31 here. It's
Definitely worked.
the middle, and there is not much
I was actually surprised how well they, not how well, but they tackled really well.
And probably at the top of the list, remove A.J. Brown from the equation. I mean, we're talking shading 2 backers at him, bracketing him, even willingly giving up the underneath action if you absolutely need to. Their defensive principles for 60 minutes were clear as day. Force the hand of Jalen Hurts into an abundance of simple 3-step drop concepts and make him beat you solely from his reads and progressions.
Blitz coming. It's picked up. Hurts going deep. Has a man. It is caught. Dotson down there. He's in. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
Now technically, not a touchdown, but this still marked the beginning of the end for Kansas City. A 3-by-1 trips left formation out of the gun. You've got a hitch, stick, and go route on your strong side, while McDuffie is shading A.J. Brown completely out of the picture. And with Jalen Hurts recognizing their defensive alignment, you make or break this play by deciphering the second level of the field. If it's a backer coverage concept, you're just playing the leverage game on the boundary. If it's a single or even a double interior blitz, and that safety is rapidly crashing to his assignment.
And I always have said, since watching Jalen Hurts a lot this year, when that ball comes out of his hands quickly, that's when he's at his best, just like he did in that moment.
But that's the thing about this game.
Gotta hold up better than that.
Jalen Hurts, he wasn't quick to the release by any stretch of the imagination. It was actually his 3rd longest time to throw from the pocket of the entire season, which is also
Their O-line did a masterful job in pass pro this game. Like the entire time, it felt like Chiefs had one person rushing. Like it was bad. They were getting boxed.
so arguably been
on the
one of his
D-line.
largest criticisms from the media. He hangs onto the football too long, not decisive enough, draws too many sacks. Every individual dig that Jalen Hurts has heard one time or another in this regard?
Hurts looking deep, not there. Now it's going to flow up for Barkley, who hangs on.
It couldn't have been further from the truth on the
I'm
biggest
pretty sure it's
stage.
Carl Loftus.
Now, Kansas City, they love man coverage. So in dropbacks where it was perceived that this was going to be the case, or even if it was just a disguise, extended route running. If you want to get straight to the point, that is what dictated offensive success in this game. Take full advantage of their wide receiver one tunnel vision, not to mention have time to locate the pockets in their shells and coverages, and of course, the golden rule, maintain the pocket and edges in pass protection. That angle of this game cannot be overstated. Just look at the 60-minute clinic that we watched on the opposite side of the football.
Belt to
Here's
ass.
Mahomes. What's he got left? Pressure again. Jacked, ball is out, and the Eagles.
Yo, getting a 38% pressure rate on 0 blitzes is probably the nuttiest thing ever. I personally think the D-line, someone on the D-line should have been Super Bowl MVP. I probably would have given it to Sweat, but yeah, no, because this is the reason the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Like, not the offense.
Milton Williams with a strip sack. Philadelphia.
Yeah, and I know who Traylon Burks is. Yeah, probably one of the worst trades ever. Trading AJ Brown and then thinking he was gonna replace him, and yeah, it's been bad. Definitely on bust watch.
Takes over.
Later this week, I think I'm going to make an entire video solely focused on the defensive showing and scheme from Big Fangio in this.
Nice. I started watching the all 22 of the defensive performance. Absolute masterclass. D-line. I don't think I've seen a D-line own the Super Bowl like this since the Broncos in 2015. Yeah, probably Broncos 2015. Before that, Giants in 2007.
This game. The speed to power dominance, the suffocation, the one-on-one wins across the board, and flip back over to the front line of Philadelphia. Not only is a factor like that additional pocket time at a premium for concepts like extended route running, but go back to the beginning of this action. It's almost a necessity given some of KC's defensive tactics.
Here's Hurts to throw. Got a lot of time. Over the middle, he goes wide open. It's Dallas Goedert. He's got a connection and a first down into Chiefs territory.
Wide open.
Now, this was a drastic point going into this game. Nobody rotates their safeties or disguises their coverages more than a Steve Spagnuolo second.
Nah, Spagnuolo, bro. Some of his disguises definitely be filthy. It's a shame it didn't really work out in this game because, yeah, I love watching the Chiefs play defense.
This was actually the primary reason for Hurts' only mistake of the game than a Steve Spagnuolo. Nobody rotates their safeties or disguises their coverages more than a Steve Spagnuolo secondary. This was actually the primary reason for Hurts' only mistake of the game, causing that first quarter interception. But let's also make this clear. Immediately following that miscue, I don't think you can find better execution in reading a secondary. Philly breaks the huddle, and Jalen Hurts instantly identifies a too-high shell. He then goes to signal for Devontae Smith to swing the field, creating a 2x2 split out of the gun, and he's had his eyes locked on safety Jaden Hicks ever since they got up to the line. Now, that simple action of motion with Devontae Smith, he recognized that it caused Hicks to tail, which ultimately, in most situations, tips the actual coverage. If he sinks to the deep third level of the field, you know he's bluffing. If he crashes to the underneath with Devontae on the boundary, that's the best tight window receiver in football with no safety help.
3rd and 7. They rush 4. Hurts going for A.J. Brown. Back shoulder. Oh, a beauty from it.
Yeah, man. AJ Brown, definitely a dog. Just a real tough matchup right there. Because, I mean, McDuffie's not even in bad shape. Hand touches the football. Like I said, man, just hard to play DB. Hardest position in football.
Manipulation was clearly the bread and butter of this defense the entire season. And recognizing that, Kellen Moore and Jalen Hurts pretty much just said, why not beat them at their own game? You can even see this when you shift back over to the schematic approach with Saquon. Now sure, production and numbers is one thing, but don't fool yourself into thinking he didn't impact every snap of this game.
Coach
Spagnuolo this week. He said, we've got to make sure we build this flat wall from behind. I want to make sure I see the jersey numbers
then,
of all
though,
my
look,
guys. I
like,
don't want them turning their shoulders.
No one getting off
look at
blocks.
this play action concept. 3 backers flat-footed in the box a second after the ball is snapped, albeit on a third-level pass design that also includes a dual chip and leak to the flat when their personnel panics. How that action ends up resulting in a 15-yard pickup, it begins with the threat this man poses. And that's not even just restricted to the run game. There's some of the many crucial blitz pickups in pass pro that created opportunities. If you tried to
I will say that was the most impressive thing about Saquon. Obviously, you don't ever want to be like when you're a star player, you don't want to be shut down. You don't want to not have stats in the Super Bowl. But as a running back, pass pro got to be something you do. All young running backs out there, you got to be great in pass pro if you want to play. Keep moving on.
Pro that created opportunities.
I mean, this is a superstar right here.
If you try
Stonewall
to
to
sift your way
safety.
through the film and find a rare sequence where there wasn't,
I mean, you get the ball downfield because of that.
To limit some of Saquon's run lanes, they were still pulling out counters to catch Spags off guard.
Design run Hurts. It's a great block from Barkley, and then surges his way down to the 45, picks up 9.5. Barkley with a good lead block there, acting like the fullback.
At one point or another, it just felt like this was turning into a cat and mouse game of schematic jazz from Philly. But shove scheme and design aside for a second, what about when they went off script?
3rd and 5, blitz coming, Hurts in trouble. Senses it, he's going to run for a first down and a lot more. Hurts sliding out across the 40. His 6th sense kicked in there as he was about to be hit, and he turned it into a 16-yard run.
I think that's the big difference too between the Chiefs and the Eagles this game was all the Eagles DNs, even linebackers, they were either bending this corner sooner. So like instead of bending the corner at like I think it's like 8 yards, they were bending it at 7, which is where you need to be to sack the quarterback, or they were going speed to power and just discarding them. And the D tackles were putting the guards and center in Mahomes' lap. So yeah, no, big differences there.
He turned it into a 16-yard run.
That is ultimately what made the difference, and this is ultimately my favorite play from this game. A 3rd and 5 just inside the 25. The motion out of the bunch from Devontae Smith identifies the coverage, and then a hard count tips the strong side blitz. But the thing is, it's not a blitz. It's actually a 3-man rush with a spy, but Jalen Hurts obviously doesn't know that yet. So, in a matter of 2, maybe 3 total seconds in his drop back, he distinguishes both backers by spy and coverage assignment, scans through his progressions to find no openings downfield.
When they cover well in the secondary and he feels any space, he takes that and there's nobody going to catch him. Bolton's trying to track him down. He knows what he needs for a first down in situations like that.
And maybe most impressive in all of this, somehow feels and reacts perfectly to the backside pressure in a collapsing pocket. But this scramble wasn't the only
great
example.
pocket presence.
It was 60 minutes of mastery that we witnessed, constantly recognizing their tendencies and adjusting their actions and pass protection based on blitz pickups.
But it starts with protection. You got Mekhi Becton giving Hurts enough time.
Having the presence of mind and waiting for routes to fully develop before actually taking that open space right at the cut point of his receivers. But speaking of open space, this was a pretty common theme in this game as well. Now, when a team's defensive principles have to factor in concepts like spies, blitz packages, safety rotations, we could keep going if we wanted to. The big play downfield, it just feels like it's eventually going to bite you.
Huge play. Now the Eagles get it back. Looking to run some clock, or maybe throw the dagger. Hurts going deep for it all. Devontae Smith. He has got it. Touchdown.
I will say probably a better catch than throw. DB got his hand in there. It was a little bit behind him, but definitely still a great play. Yeah, it was good. Pax.
And ironically enough, what Kansas City hung their hat on this entire season is exactly what Philly used to put the final nail in the coffin. I mean, even in real time watching this, it felt like one of the best all-around performances from a quarterback that we've seen on the big stage. Now, the numbers absolutely back that up, but I want to hear what you guys have to say about this game. So please, let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe to never miss another video here.
Yeah, it wasn't like the most insightful. I think Philly definitely did a great job really just adjusting everything Kansas City did.
Hey there. If you like that video, don't be afraid to hit the subscribe button. And then follow along on Twitch so you can catch all the live moments as they happen.